We know that we get 1/10 when we divide 1 by 10. So if we have a rectangle and we divide it into 10 pieces and keep only one of those pieces, we have 1/10. Now we can write 1/10 as a decimal. It's 0.1 because our tenths place value column is the first place value column after the decimal point. And we can write what we've done in this way. 1 divided by 10 is 0.1. Now you might have been told that this doesn't make sense and that you can't divide a smaller number by a bigger number. But in fact you can. All it means is that your answer will be less than 1. We divided one whole rectangle by 10, and that's given us 1/10 or 0.1. Now with hundredths, we're doing something similar, but rather than dividing one whole rectangle into 10 pieces, we're dividing it into 100 pieces. And if we keep just one of those pieces, we have 1/100th. We can write 1/100th as a decimal 0.01. So we know that the tenths place value column is the first one after the decimal point, and now we know that the hundredths column is the second one after the decimal point. Now why do we need a 0 in our tenths place value column? Well, that 0 tells us that we don't have any tenths, and the 1 in the hundredths column tells us that we have 1/100th. And it's important not to confuse hundredths and tenths, because as you can see, 1/100th is smaller than 1/10. So we can write what we've done here like this. We had one whole rectangle, we divided it by 100, and that gave us 1/100th or 0.01. So one way to get 100th is to divide a whole rectangle in this case, into 100 pieces. But we also get 1/100th when we divide 1/10 by 10. So here we have 1/10 of a rectangle. If we divide that tenth into 10 pieces and keep only one of the pieces, we have something which is the same as 1/100th. So here, to record what we have done, we started with 1/10, which is 0.1. We divided it by 10, divided it into 10 pieces, and that gave us 1/100th, which is 0.01. So let's look at this place value chart. We understand hundreds, tens, and units. We know that when we divide 100 by 10, we get 10. When we divide 10 by 10, we get 1. Well, it keeps on going. If we have 1 unit, 1 whole, and we divide it into 10 parts, we get 1/10. And if we have 1/10 and we divide it into 10 parts, we get 1/100th. And we have a decimal point to separate the units and the decimal place value columns, so that if a digit comes after the decimal point, we know that it stands for something less than 1.